Welcome. Today we're going to be working on chapter 2.3, which is going to be special products of polynomials. We're going to be focusing on these three products. So what happens when we multiply difference of squares, sum of squares, and we're going to see what are the patterns here and how we can apply the patterns to go ahead and help us simplify when we are trying to multiply polynomials. So let's go ahead and move forward. Make sure we're taking notes on this so we can look back and see what's going on. So what I recommend doing is, again, 1, 2, and then 3. When you have this right here, when you have this, the pattern is going to be that you're going to get, if you have the sum of squares, you're always going to get this. So your A is going to be squared, you have 2AB, and then your B squared. Okay? You have a difference of squares, so difference of squares. Here we are. You're going to expand. So what we're doing here is we're going to take a shortcut here, and when you expand it, this is what it's going to look like. When I mean expand, I mean we're multiplying. If you can't remember this pattern, you can always just multiply, and we'll go over both situations. So when we have this here, we can go ahead and use the box method. Now when you do the box method in multiplying, what you do is you take each binomial and you put it on the outside of a box. And the way this works is you go ahead and you multiply your x and your x. That gives us x squared. You multiply your x and your 4, that's going to give us 4x. You multiply your x and your 4, that's going to give you 4x. And then finally your 4 to your 4, that's going to give us 16. So it's kind of like the Punnett squares. Back when you were doing biology, Mendeleev alleles, the box method can be used to multiply polynomials. And what you do here is, your answer here is you combine your like terms. So these are all positive. So what our answer is going to be x squared plus 8x, because 4x plus 4x is going to be 8x, and then plus 16. So the answer is going to be right here. This is what we get when we multiply these two binomials. We get a trinomial. Again, this is the box method. So that's one way of doing it, the box method. So this just repeated what I did using the box method, but also FOIL. Now the word FOIL it's an acronym. We're going to use FOIL, F-O-I-L. What this means is when you multiply a polynomial, you multiply the first term. So hence the first terms of the polynomial, the x and the x. Next, the outer terms. What are the outer terms? The x to the 4, and we get 4x. The I means the inside terms. The inside terms, the 4x and the x, we get 4x. And then the L is going to be the last terms. So what are the last terms? Well, the last term is going to be the 4 and the 4. That's going to give us 16. So again, we have the box method here. We have FOIL. Really what's happening here is the box method has us just use the box. The FOIL method doesn't use the box. It just uses this right here, and then you combine like terms. So we combine like terms, 4x and 4x, and you see that we get the same answer using the box method or using FOIL. So again, just useful ways to go ahead and solve polynomials. Now we're going to go ahead and use the shortcut. So in order to use a shortcut, you need to identify your first term is going to be your A, and your first second term is going to be your B. And so then how do we change this sum of squares into that trinomial? And the key part is identifying your A and your B. So what do we do when this happens? We take, okay, what's your A? Well, in this case, my A is going to be x squared. So I'm going to say x squared. And then what's the next part? It's going to be 2ab. So what happens when I multiply 2 by ab? I'm going to get 2 times x times what's my b value? My b value is going to be 4. And then what's my b squared? Right? Plus my b squared. My b squared is going to be 4. So we simplify this, and this turns into x squared plus, we're going to say this, 8x plus 16. And again, that's just using that rule right there. So you can see maybe it's a little faster, maybe not. Whatever you like doing. I like using the pattern because it gets faster. With practice, it gets faster, but either way is fine. We're going to try another example using the pattern. So again, identify your A and your B. Your 3x is going to be your A. Your 2y is going to be your B. So again, your A and B in terms of this right here, right? So we're going to say, well, what's going to be my A? My A is going to be 3x squared, right? That's the entire A. My B is going to be 2 times, what's my A? My A is going to be 3x. What's going to be my B? My B is going to be 2y. What's going to be my b squared? Well, it's going to be plus 2y squared. Okay? If I do that, then I evaluate, right? We get 9x squared here. We get 2 times 3x. That's going to be 6x. 6x. So again, this right here is going to be 6x. We still have the 2y over here. So that's going to give us 12xy. 12xy. Over here, we're going to have 2y squared. What's that going to give us? That's going to give us plus 4y squared. So this is my answer. So again, that's using the special patterns one. That's going to be the sum of squares. That's what we got right there. 9x squared plus 12yx, or 12xy, plus 4y squared. There it is. Now we're going to go and use, hey, this is a difference, right? This is a difference. So we're going to say that everything is going to stay the same except for we change the symbol. So now what are we going to do? Well, we're going to identify our A. My A is going to be X. That's my A. What's going to be my B? My B is going to be -5. I put the A and B into the pattern. So I get X squared minus 2 times my A, which is going to be X, times my B, which is going to be my -5. Plus my b squared. What's my b squared? My b squared is what's going to be -5, right? -5 squared. Then I evaluate. I get x squared plus 10x plus 25. That's my answer. So again, we're plugging stuff into my pattern. The only thing you got to keep track of is now we have a negative symbol. Here we have a positive because negative times negative is positive. There we go. another example here. We're going to do, again, this is going to be a difference. So we're going to say, well, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to say, what's my A? My A is going to be here. This is my B, and I'm going to put it into the pattern. So I'm going to get A squared, which is going to be 4x squared, minus 2 times A times B. What's my A again? My A is 4x. What's my B? My B is going to be negative y plus B squared, B squared is, in this case, negative y. And then I evaluate as best I can. So I'm going to take 4x squared. That's going to give me 16x squared. I'm going to have negative 2 times 4x. It's going to be negative 8x right here. Negative 8x times negative y is going to be a positive 8xy. And then I get negative y squared is going to give me positive y squared because we squared the negative. And this is my answer right there. Okay? Multiplying polynomials. See if you can get the answer there. You can pause. Try to get the answer. The answer is going to be x squared minus 2xy plus y squared. There it is. Good job. Again, when we have this, again, we can use the box method here. You can use the box method or you can use FOIL. We're going to do both. We're going to do FOIL and the box method. Okay, FOIL. So the first terms, when you multiply the x to the x, you get x squared. You're gonna get, so again, FOIL. We're gonna O. We're gonna outside. Outside to outside mean x to the 3, right? So that's gonna be 3x. The inner is gonna be inner. What are the inner terms? The inner term is going to be the negative 3 and that's going to give us negative 3x. Finally, let's do the L for last. The last terms. What are my last terms? The negative 3 and the 3. That's going to give me negative 9. Okay? What's my answer? Well, you combine like terms for your answer. And you put it in standard form, meaning your highest degree first, x squared. 3x minus 3x is going to be 0, so we're going to get x squared minus 9. And that's my answer right there, right? So x squared equals x minus 3, x plus 3. Okay. That's the answer, using FOIL. Using the box method, multiply the x to the x, we get x squared. Multiplying the x to the negative 3, we get negative 3x. X to the 3 over here, we get 3x. 3 to 3 over here, we get negative 9. And then you combine like terms, and you put your answer in, right? What are my like terms? These are my like terms. Okay, we get x squared. X squared, those cancel out, so we get x squared minus 9. And that's my answer. X squared minus 9, that's my answer. Again, that's using the box method. That's using FOIL. Whichever one you prefer. So really we have 3 methods. We have the FOIL method, we have the box method, or we can just use the pattern. Again, we're trying to use the pattern. So now we're going to use the pattern here. Instead of using the box method or the FOIL, we're going to use the pattern here. So the pattern is going to be, again, taking, identifying your A and your B, and then put it in over here. That's what we're trying to do. So what's my A in this case? My A is going to be, it's going to be my X. What's going to be my B? My B is going to be 3. So I just put it in the pattern. X squared minus b squared, which is going to be 9. see that? Where's my A? My B. There it is. So that's using the pattern, and that's using the box method, and that's using FOIL. I hope that was helpful. Please feel free to go ahead and rewind this and pause as you need to.